What's up, Tailgaters? You're in the booth with Tailgate Nate today. Welcome to my channel. The last bowl game taking place on Saturday. It's the last bowl game preview prediction video here of the day. And we're going to be talking about the Hawai'i Bowl. From Honolulu, Hawaii, it is the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers and the San Jose State Spartans, a team that is used to traveling to Hawaii and San Jose State versus a team on the other coastline in Coastal Carolina all the way there from Conway near the Myrtle Beach area in South Carolina, but was on their campus, beautiful campus, got on their football field, really nice field. But this is going to be a very interesting game here in the Hawai'i Bowl. So we'll talk about everything Chanticleers and Spartans in a minute, but before we do that, you guys know I got to say thank you for all the love and support the channel is seeing, and continue to interact with the channel in any way you can, because anything you guys do to interact with the channel helps support what I do here on YouTube. So whether that is liking, commenting, sharing, doing what you're doing now by watching the video, or doing the big thing, hitting the subscribe button, ringing the bell, you help support what I'm doing here on YouTube. So thank you so much for all that. And like I've said with all my other bowl game preview predictions, it can be a little tricky to tell what guys have entered the transfer portal, who's opting out, and keeping track of all the names. So I have a list of names, but Chanticleer fans, Spartan fans, if you feel like I missed a name, or after recording this video, after it gets uploaded, if there's a name that comes out that you feel like is notable, please leave it in the comment section down below. Be happy to hear what you guys have to say regarding this one. Again, you can leave your thoughts after you watch the video as well. But let's dive on into this one between the Chanticleers and the Spartans. We'll start out with the designated road team all the way from the other coastline of where this game is going to be played, there in the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. It was not the season that Coastal Carolina really dreamt of. Apologies for my green screen. Hopefully it isn't too much of a bother. But what the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers, Tim Beck coming in, it really was not the season that they envisioned it to be. And they're going to be without Grayson McCall here in this game. 1,919 yards, 10 touchdowns and 6 picks on 67% completion percentage. But I think we all know that Grayson McCall is a little bit better, just a little bit better than what that stat line shows. And by a little bit better, I mean a lot better. Sarcasm. But you would figure, okay, so then Jarrett Guest is going to be starting for this team, right? Wrong as well, because Jarrett Guest has also entered the transfer portal, had 696 yards, 7 touchdowns, 2 picks on 72% completion percentage. So it will be Ethan Vasco that is ready to go and will be starting this game here for Coastal Carolina. Now, he has a lot of weapons to be able to work with. Sadly, he's going to be without a couple of them there. A running back in C.J. Beasley, who had 3.9 yards per carry, 262 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He is gone, as well as Jared Brown, 740 yards, 4 touchdowns on 58 catches. All of those were second on the team. The 4 touchdowns tied for second on the team here. But you still got guys like Sam Pinckney, Jared Brown, your leading rusher in Braden Bennett, and then Ethan Vasco himself is not a bad rusher by any stretch of a mile at all. And this is a really good offensive line that Vasco is going to have in front of him. It's a really solid team on third downs, and it's an efficient team on the money downs. However, turnovers can be a little bit of a problem for this team. That'll be a theme come in later, especially once we get to the San Jose State Spartans. But let's flip on over to the defensive side of the ball here for Coastal Carolina. And before I talk about anything there, they're also going to be without one of their leaders on this side of the ball. They're tied for second leading tackler, a linebacker in JT Killen, who had 65 tackles, 2 pass defended, and 1 pick that he was able to run back for a pick 6. He will not be playing here in this game. He has also entered the transfer portal. However, you still got a lot of leaders here on this defense. A secondary that had 14 takeaways with 14 picks and 2 pick 6s. Obviously, you don't have one of them there with JT Killen. 41 pass defended. This is the pass rush that, isn't the best, but it does generate pressure in timely ways. 20 sacks on the season year. 6 of them by their second leading tackler, tied there with 65 tackles with Killen, Michael Mason, who had 6 sacks this season. But you really take a look at what this defense likes to do. I mean, they force turnovers. Yeah, sure, they're not great on third down. They can generate some pressure. The rush defense isn't fantastic, but the secondary can be ball hawking. Again, 14 takeaways, and by that, I mean, again, 14 picks, 7 fumbles are recovered. This defense comes up large when it needs to. It continues to find ways for Coastal Carolina to win games when it gets down to the nitty-gritty. But for San Jose State here, I mean, this is an offense that definitely has a lot of firepower there on the ground. And they're going to be keeping the two guys that really power this offense statistically, and that's Kerry Robinson, 1,127 yards and 18 touchdowns, as well as Quali Conley, 809 yards and 8 touchdowns on the season. This is the rush offense that averages over 185 rush yards per game. But the thing that makes this offense really dangerous is that Siobhan Cordero is their quarterback, 2,558 yards, 19 touchdowns, and only 4 picks on 62% completion percentage. We know that Cordero has some really good arm strength during his time at Hawaii, so actually coming back to his old stomping grounds here to play in a bowl game with his new team in the San Jose State Spartans. And Cordero is a phenomenal weapon. You got a lot of great wide receivers out there, most notably in Nick Nash, 47 catches, 704 yards, and 8 touchdowns on the season. The offensive line, again, does a fairly nice job. It's a pretty darn good team there on third down, but they don't turn the football over. Those 4 picks there from Cordero, those are the only 4 interceptions the team has thrown on the year. And hey, they only have 4 fumbles on the year. That's 8 turnovers. That is a stellar number. And you take a look at their defensive side too. This is one of the best turnover margin teams in the country, as the defense has forced 21 turnovers on the season. And sure, while it definitely doesn't have a dynamic pass rush, and while it isn't great on third downs, much like Coastal Carolina, it also is not great at defending the run, but it does have a pretty darn good secondary. 37 pass defended and 12 interceptions, including 1 pick 6. They've also recovered 9 fumbles on the year, even though they've forced just 5. So they've really been able to take advantage of the mistakes that other teams have given them, just kind of plop down an early Christmas present on their doorstep and said, oh, whoops, here you go. There's a loose football, and San Jose State is on top of it. Usually how that ends up going. However, saying that, there really is no big defensive player out of this game for San Jose State. So you're going to have all your star power. You're going to have all of your guys that love to generate pressure to the quarterback. They have, I believe, 5 guys with at least 2.5 sacks so far this season. So again, it's a very concentrated pass rush. You know where it's going to come from, but it can be really tough to stop when it's going. Leads me into my what to watch for, kind of like your keys to the game. Hey, it's just some things I think you should keep an eye on while you're paying attention to this one. For the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers, you need to be able to take the pressure off of Ethan Vasco. You need to keep being efficient in the run game, but again, still be efficient in the pass game there as well. Now, Ethan Vasco may have to take some pressure off of himself by being able to get outside of the pocket and run the football. Again, he is this team's second leading rusher. 318 yards, 6.9 yards per carry, only 2 touchdowns, but hey, he doesn't need to get it in the end zone here. He just needs to be able to get down. He needs to be able to basically get himself out of trouble, and he's going to need his running back room in Bennett. You also take a look at the guy that I know does not have the best yards per carry average, but Reese White may definitely get a pretty good carry load here, especially with C.J. Beasley being out. You need to keep being efficient in the pass game, but Vasco needs the pressure taken off of him. The offensive line is going to do a world at being able to help that there as well. However, San Jose State's balance offensively, I think, is going to provide some troubles for the Chanticleer defense, especially without one of your very vocal leaders there in JT Killen. Now, don't get me wrong. This is a Coastal Carolina defense that still has a lot of really good players. Does it have the star power it's had in years past? No, but it has a lot of good players. I just think the balanced attack and not really knowing where the offense is going to come from San Jose State is going to be really, really tricky, because if you key in on the run, Cordero is just going to hit a pass. If you key in on the pass, well, that running back duo there in Robinson and Conley is just going to eat you alive. So planning for the San Jose State team is definitely a little tricky, but turnovers have been the problem for Coastal Carolina this year. They need to be cut back. And if this is the defense that can still force turnovers while the offense continues to be efficient and not turn the football over, you're going to have a pretty good shot here to win this game. But this is a San Jose State offense that comes into this game red hot, and the offensive attack is going to have to stay hot. They've really started to find their nice balance. Robinson and Conley are starting to run really, really well, and I don't know if I've mentioned this, but both of them average over 6 yards per carry. In fact, Robinson averages just a tick over 7 yards per carry there as well. So it's a really tough running back duo to stop. We know the ability of the Cordero, along with just the plethora of wide receivers they have here in this room. The offense is coming in playing their best football. It's got to continue to play their best football, especially if this becomes an offensive shootout, which it very well could be. You need to be able to generate pressure in the backfield as well, though. That is what is really going to hurt Coastal Carolina. If you can take away their run game and you can keep Vasco inside the pocket and make Vasco have to win the game with his arm, I mean, that's only going to bode well here for the San Jose State Spartans. But I think when you come down to it, I think third downs are going to matter. I think the turnover battle is going to matter, and I think time of possession is going to matter. And I don't see Coastal Carolina winning either three of those battles. This is simply just a San Jose State team that doesn't turn the football over with the way that they are able to run the ball. They're going to control the clock. And although the stats may say, yeah, okay, this team's a little worse, especially defensively on a third down, they're a little bit of a better team offensively on third down. And in my opinion, they played a little bit of tougher opponents, especially when you consider the third down margins there as well. So I think San Jose State winning all three of those battles is really going to help them. Coastal Carolina, I think it's going to make this one impressive. I think Vasco plays well. I think a lot of these skill position players play well. I think the defense comes up with some pretty big plays. But all in all, I think San Jose State just has the ball a little bit too long to matter, and they will win the money downs. 9.5-point spread. I think the Chanticleers cover that, but I still see the Spartans pulling out the outright win. 36-31 is the way I see it playing out. Let me know how you guys see it playing out in the comment section below. But hey, as always, remember to play hard but tailgate harder, and I'll see all you guys in the next video. Apologies for my green screen again. Goodbye.